Toronto police officer working out of 32 Division is facing Police Act charges for his handling of a complaint involving convicted serial killer Bruce McArthur back in 2016. Detective Paul Gauthier was set to appear before a tribunal here at police headquarters this morning to be formally charged with insubordination and neglect of duty. But when we arrived here today, we learned that he is now on medical leave, so his case has been put over until later this month. Bruce McArthur was arrested in January of 2018. He was eventually charged with 8 counts of first-degree murder and pleaded guilty last week. But months earlier, in June of 2016, a man had called 911 saying that Bruce McArthur had tried to strangle him. He went to 32 Division and gave a statement to Detective Gauthier. But McArthur found a way to take the heat off himself by voluntarily going to 41 Division and telling officers there to expect a complaint. Defense attorney Kim Schofield says it was a clever way to preempt suspicion.
So it's not simply he said, and the officers chose to believe McArthur. It seemed to be a planned manipulation of the system. So McArthur knew the best way to deal with this is to get ahead of it. It was a preemptive strike. The best defense is a good offense, and that's what he did.
Detective Gauthier questioned McArthur and eventually released him without laying charges. Andrew Kinsman and Salim Essen both went missing in 2017, long after that police interview. Gauthier's lawyer says the decision not to lay charges was made in conjunction with Gauthier's supervisor and based on the information they had at the time. Kim Schofield says the charge of insubordination could have stemmed from the officer's behavior after the incident.
It could, in fact, involve allegations of not complying with an investigative process. That may be what it is, that insubordination. And the neglect of duty is... it's a very broad definition of what neglect of duty, so they will take the position that something in the course of that 2016 interview and assessment fell short of the standard expected of a police officer.
Schofield agrees. We need some answers as to why McArthur was released back in 2016. She's not convinced, though, that charging the officer is the best way to get those answers. And certainly Gauthier's lawyer, Lawrence Gridden, doesn't think so, saying McArthur's monstrous nature was difficult to uncover because he led a life of extreme deception, not because of anything to do with the 2016 arrest. He also said today that Detective Gauthier was in fact a key investigator in the case.
All I'd like to say is that I'm confident that the evidence in this case is going to ultimately show that the information gathered by Detective Gauthier contributed to the identification of Bruce McArthur as a serial killer, did not detract in any way from the Project Prism investigation.
Project Prism was the police probe that looked into missing men in Toronto's gay village. Gridden has also asked that the disciplinary hearing assign an independent adjudicator or a judge to Gauthier's case instead of a police inspector appointed by the chief. Gauthier is due back at headquarters on Feb 26th. If found guilty, Detective Paul Gauthier could face a range of penalties, including demotion, docking of pay, the most serious of which could be dismissal. But Kim Schofield says she thinks it's very unlikely that that would happen in this case. In Toronto, I'm Pam Seatle, City News.